So, how should the Giants attack free agency this offseason? They have some similarities to the Jets. We talked about the Jets last time. They neither one of them did a great job protecting their quarterbacks. But the Giants also have a lot more cap space than the Jets, so they could afford to be a little bit more aggressive in free agency. So they've got $47.8 million in cap space in free agency. So they're in a better position. This is how I would consider attacking them if I were the Giants. First guy, wide receiver, I would add T. Higgins. I'd try to bring him in, a good wide receiver to add to that arsenal. Because the fact is, we don't really know whether Daniel Jones is going to be the answer, whether they're going to draft another quarterback at some point to try to either compete with him or replace him. We just don't know. They're going to bring in another veteran, or they're going to bring back Tyrod Taylor. We don't know what they're going to do. But at the very least, we're going to stock the quarterbacks with a lot of weapons to throw to or hand off to, right? To hopefully help them in their cause as well. So T. Higgins is a guy, you could probably get him on a 10-year, $10 million, $8 or $10 million per season. Might cost a little bit more than that, but he's a guy I would be targeting. Next up, a guy to protect the quarterback. Okay, Trent Brown, offensive lineman with the Patriots. He was with the Raiders. A huge offensive lineman. They need some more beef on the offensive line to protect whoever's throwing that ball. Whoever's throwing that ball, handing off that ball. So he's one of the guys I would bring in. I would probably try to get two. The Giants also have a full draft, draft full of picks. So they're not in there. They're not missing a lot of picks. So they could draft high up in offensive line. They could draft in the middle rounds. They have a little bit more flexibility than the Jets do. But Trent Brown's a guy I would be looking at too. You could probably get on a 3 or 4 year deal as well. Next up, this is the key. Trevon Diggs. Dallas. Now he's coming off an ACL, right? So he was a big loss by the Dallas Cowboys, but he's an elite cornerback. That's their biggest need, a corner for the Giants. So he's a guy that would cost the most amount of money, obviously, but he's getting good reviews. He's getting good news, encouraging news on his recovery from an ACL. I think he'll be fully prepared for the season. He's a guy, if you could take it away from one of the other NFC East teams, you have to do it. So this guy's going to have no shortage of suitors, but this is where the Giants can afford to make a splash. That's the guy I would make a splash for, Trevon Diggs. Okay. By the way, you let me know what you think. Okay. If you enjoy this type of content, if you're a Giants fan, hit that like and subscribe button. Please do it. It's not only helpful to the channel, it's greatly appreciated. But if you want to be at the front of the line, you want to get the news when it comes in, no matter who your team is, especially if it's Jets, Giants, or Bills, do that. Okay, I thank you so much for it. I want to make sure that you get everything that comes in, and I want to make sure you're in the front of the line to get it. So, lastly, one more. Defensive line, another need for the Giants. Okay, this is Justin Madelbake. It's another defensive lineman. They need to not only do they need a defensive backfield, but they need guys who are going to attack the quarterback, attack the running backs, and attack in the short game as well. And he would come at a relatively reasonable contract. So he's another guy I would bring in. And again, I think they could probably get these 4 guys and not really exceed. They might have to restructure a contract or 2, maybe even move on from a player. But I think they have within themselves to get these 4 guys. And this would represent a good, well-rounded offseason by the Giants. Now we're gonna focus on the draft after free agency. I'm gonna do the free agency targets for the Bills, and then we're going to go back and do the draft for the Jets, Giants, and the Bills as well. And as we get later on in the offseason after the Super Bowl, we'll start getting into a little bit more detail and maybe update some of these lists and so on and so forth. But you let me know what your thoughts are. Who would you be focusing on if you were a Giants GM? What do they need? What do you want them to get? What do you want them to move on from? Are they going to bring back Saquon Barkley? If they do, you better have some offensive line to protect them. That's for darn sure. Are they going to keep Daniel Jones? Should they keep Daniel Jones? Let's get into it. Have a great day. Talk to you next time.